Beneath the skin of the ocean lies a silence older than time, a silence so deep it swallows sound, so endless it defies imagination. The Mariana Trench, a chasm carved into the Earth's crust, where pressure could crush steel and light dares not wander. Here, in the eternal midnight, life has written a different story. Creatures that glow like fallen stars drift through the black. Titans, unseen by human eyes, navigate in ghostly shadows. And yet, within this hidden abyss, the unknown still waits. This is not just a story of the deep. It is a story of survival, of resilience, of secrets the Earth has kept for millions of years. The question is not only what lives here, but what truths about ourselves lie buried in the silence of these waters. Before we descend, take a moment to anchor yourself to this journey. Like the ocean, this story is vast and fragile. If its mysteries stir something in you, share it. Let others dive with us, and subscribe to keep returning to these depths. Beneath the skin of the ocean lies a silence older than time. A silence so deep it swallows sound, so endless it defies imagination. The Mariana Trench, a chasm carved into the Earth's crust, where pressure could crush steel and light dares not wander. Here, in the eternal midnight, life has written a different story. Creatures that glow like fallen stars drift through the black. Titans, unseen by human eyes, navigate in ghostly shadows. And yet, within this hidden abyss, the unknown still waits. This is not just a story of the deep. It is a story of survival, of resilience, of secrets the Earth has kept for millions of years. The question is not only what lives here, but what truths about ourselves lie buried in the silence of these waters. Before we descend, take a moment to anchor yourself to this journey. Like the ocean, this story is vast and fragile. If its mysteries stir something in you, share it. Let others dive with us, and subscribe to keep returning to these depths. The deeper we go, the more the ocean reshapes itself into something alien. The water is no longer just water. It is weight, it is pressure, it is the slow erasure of everything human. At 3,000 meters, the darkness becomes so complete that even imagination struggles to keep pace. The mind begins to paint things where there is nothing. A glimmer becomes an eye, a shadow becomes a leviathan. Down here, our senses betray us, and the ocean takes advantage of that betrayal. It is in this place that life bends into impossible forms. Transparent bodies that let the pressure pass straight through them. Creatures with jaws that hinge wider than their skulls, designed for a feast that may come only once in months. Some drift with skeletons so fragile they would shatter in air, yet here they float with delicate grace. Their bodies are not mistakes. They are answers. Answers to questions only the abyss dares to ask. We meet the hatchetfish, a silver blade suspended in black water, its sides gleaming with shifting light. Its body is designed to vanish, to mimic the faint glow above, so predators below cannot see it. In this endless night, invisibility is a weapon. A few meters away, a siphonophore drifts, a creature that is not one, but many. A colony of smaller beings woven together into a single shimmering body that stretches longer than a blue whale. Its tendrils trail like threads of starlight, luring prey that never suspects the trap. The deeper we descend, the less these beings feel like animals, and the more they resemble ideas. Each one a strange reflection of survival, each one a metaphor carved into flesh and light. And then there is the silence. Silence so profound it feels like an ocean within the ocean. No crash of waves, no calls of gulls, no human noise. Only the steady groan of the vessel and the low hum of machinery. Even our breath feels too loud here, intrusive in a place that has existed long before lungs ever learned to draw air. The silence is not empty. It is full of weight, of presence, of something vast and unknowable pressing against us. At 4,000 meters, the temperature plummets. The water hovers just above freezing, yet never turns to ice, held liquid by the crushing pressure. Beads of condensation slide across the glass like cold sweat. Lights from the vessel sweep across a drifting form, a ghostly octopus, pale and near translucent, its arms unfurling like slow ribbons in the dark. It has no need for speed here. It is patient. It waits, conserving energy, existing in a rhythm as old as the trench itself. Further down, a gulper eel swims into view. Its mouth, grotesquely oversized, opens like a curtain of shadow. It swallows not by choice, but by necessity. Whatever drifts close enough is taken whole, for opportunities are rare. Its body, long and serpentine, ripples like ink in water, then disappears as quickly as it came. One glimpse, and then nothing. That is the rhythm of this descent. Revelation, disappearance, silence. We sink further still, and the weight of it all begins to blur the line between awe and dread. The abyss is beautiful, yes, but it is also merciless. To live here is to endure conditions that crush, freeze, and starve. And yet, life endures. That truth alone feels like defiance, like rebellion against the rules of the world above. The walls of the trench are still far below, but already the sense of being enclosed begins to rise. Water presses from every side, black and infinite, but also intimate, as if the abyss is not just swabluries, allowing us but studying us. What are we to it? Visitors? Intruders? Or simply nothing at all? There is a moment hanging in this void where time feels strange. Hours lose shape. Seconds stretch. The descent is not measured in numbers anymore, but in the way silence deepens, in the way light becomes rarer, in the way our own breath reminds us we are fragile here. We do not descend into the ocean. The ocean descends into us. And still, below, the trench waits. The abyss stretches endlessly, but with every meter downward, we edge closer to the trench's true domain. 5,000 meters. 6. The numbers almost lose meaning. At this depth, we are far beneath the reach of light, far beneath the range of whales and sharks, even beneath the paths of most submarines. This is a kingdom untouched, a silence unbroken for millions of years. The walls of the trench rise in the distance, steep and jagged, carved by tectonic forces that tore the earth open. They loom like mountains turned upside down, their slopes hidden in shadow, their edges sharp as broken glass. The seabed here is not soft or inviting. It is a scar, a wound cut deep into the planet's skin, descending further than any canyon above. The pressure here is unimaginable, more than 8 tons on every square inch. Steel would bend, glass would shatter. Yet the creatures of this world drift as if unaware, their delicate bodies unbroken by the force. They are sculpted for it, born into a gravity we cannot fathom. For them, this crushing world is not a cage, but a cradle. The lights sweep across a fang-toothed fish. Its mouth, bristling with teeth longer than its own head, gapes in a silent snarl. Yet for all its ferocity, it is barely the size of a hand. Here, size is irrelevant. A predator need not be large to rule. Survival is not measured in strength, but in cunning, patience, adaptation. Nearby, a deep-sea anglerfish hovers. A single luminous lure dangles from its head, swaying like a false promise. In the abyss, hunger waits in every shadow, and the lure is an invitation few resist. It is not just a light, it is deception made flesh. To stare at it is to witness evolution's cruelty and its genius. Every creature we pass feels like an echo of myth. Beings that should belong to nightmares, yet are real, alive, thriving in a world we once believed empty. Perhaps this is why ancient sailors feared the sea. Not for what they saw, but for what they could not. The ocean's surface is calm, but beneath it hides proof that the earth has always been stranger than our imaginations. At 7,000 meters, the cold deepens further. Water moves sluggishly, heavy with salt and silence. A rat-tail fish glides into view, its body tapering into a long, whip-like tail. Its eyes, pale and cloudy, seem to look through us rather than at us. It swims with no rush, as if time here has slowed to match the stillness of the trench. And perhaps it has. Down here, minutes and hours blur into the eternal rhythm of pressure and dark. Then comes a sound. Not from us, but from the trench itself. A low groan, deep and resonant, as the tectonic plates shift, grinding in slow motion. It is the voice of the earth, speaking in tones too vast for us to understand. For a moment, the silence is broken, and we remember. This place is not only alive with creatures, but with the planet itself. We drift deeper still, and the sense of isolation grows sharper. The surface is no longer a memory but a myth. Air, warmth, color, these things belong to another world. Here, there is only the dark, only the weight, only the endless descent into a chasm that has no mercy, no end in sight. And yet, within the fear, there is wonder. For every shadow hides a secret. For every silence, a story. The trench is not empty. It is overflowing with life, with history, with forces we are only beginning to touch. And as we sink closer to its depths, we know the true mysteries are still waiting far below, where even light has forgotten to wander. 8,000 meters. 9. The trench yawns wider as if the earth itself is opening its jaws. By now, the descent has become less of a journey and more of a surrender. The weight above us, oceans stacked upon oceans, presses with a force that should crush everything, yet life still flickers here. Fragile, defiant, eternal. The lights catch something drifting in the black. A Dumbo octopus. Its ear-like fins flap slowly, gracefully, as though it dances in water thick as night. Its skin glows faintly, pulsing with soft hues that ripple across its body like whispers of light. It is delicate, almost childlike in appearance, yet it has mastered the abyss in ways we never could. Down here, it is not out of place. We are. Past 10,000 meters, the trench becomes a place few have dared to visit. The deepest, crude descents have touched these levels, but only briefly, their lights cutting across a world otherwise untouched by eyes. What lies here has existed in secrecy since the dawn of time, hidden beneath the silence of the sea. A snailfish drifts into the glow. Its body looks impossibly fragile, nearly transparent, but its form is perfectly designed to endure the crushing weight. Where any other fish would be flattened into nothing, the snailfish thrives, moving as if the abyss itself protects it. Evolution has chosen it as one of the trench's keepers, a guardian of a depth where most cannot endure. The silence here is heavier. It is not the silence of absence, but of presence. A silence filled with everything the ocean has swallowed, every shipwreck, every fragment of life that has fallen from the world above. The trench does not forget. It holds. It keeps. It waits. Then, from the darkness, a glimmer. Not a fish, not a reflection, something larger. The shape passes at the edge of the lights, its form too vast, too fluid to define. Perhaps it was nothing. Perhaps it was everything. In the abyss, truth and imagination often become the same thing. We press onward, closer to the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point of the ocean, nearly 11,000 meters down. Here, the pressure is more than 1,000 times that of the surface. Here, the world is more alien than Mars. And yet, here, life still survives. The vessel steadies, the light sweeping across the silty floor of the trench. It looks barren, endless, a desert carved into the planet's crust. But the stillness is deceptive. Microscopic life thrives in the mud. Small scavengers crawl along the floor, feeding on what little drifts down from the world above. This is not emptiness. It is endurance. And as we hover in this depth, surrounded by blackness, a truth settles in. The descent is never truly over. The trench is deeper than our understanding, wider than our imagination, older than our history. Even standing at its floor, we have only touched the surface of its secrets. The abyss does not give itself freely. It reveals only fragments, only glimpses. And in those glimpses, we find enough to change how we see everything above. For now, the silence swallows us whole. The trench waits, and with it, the promise of greater mysteries yet to come. The deeper we journey, the clearer it becomes. The abyss is not empty. It is a cathedral of invention. Evolution has etched masterpieces here, each creature an answer to a question no one above ever thought to ask. They are not survivors by chance. They are architects sculpting their own existence against the crushing rules of the deep. It begins with light. In a place where the sun has never touched, light becomes something born, not borrowed. Bioluminescence, a language written in glow. Some creatures wield it as a weapon, others as a shield. Some use it to lure, others to vanish. Each flicker in the dark is more than survival. It is strategy. It is art. The anglerfish returns to mind, its lure swaying like a candle in the void. But it is not alone. The dragonfish glides into the light, its body sleek, its fangs sharp as needles. Along its sides, tiny organs emit a faint red glow, a color almost invisible in water, a secret signal to its kind. But its jaw is where the abyss shows its hand. The dragonfish's teeth are transparent, nearly invisible, so prey never sees the danger until it is too late. Evolution here is not just survival, it is deception made perfect. Nearby, the hatchetfish gleams like polished metal. Its sides flash with mirrored scales, bending light to hide its body. Above it, the flashlight fish swims in slow arcs, small beacons glowing beneath its eyes. At first, the glow feels simple, even fragile. But these lights can blink on and off, used to signal others, to confuse predators, or to guide through black waters. A secret code, invisible to all but those who understand it. Then comes the siphonophore, a creature so strange it feels like a dream. Long and delicate, stretching for meters, it drifts with an elegance that borders on the surreal. But it is not one being. It is many. A colony of smaller organisms bound together, each one specialized, each one playing a role. Some sting, some digest, some propel. Together they form a single flowing entity that glimmers like a drifting constellation. a living mosaic of cooperation. Everywhere we turn, the abyss offers proof of invention. Gelatinous bodies that withstand pressure by yielding instead of resisting. Jaws that unhinge wide enough to swallow prey larger than themselves. Eyes that have grown enormous, designed to catch the faintest spark of light in an endless dark. Each creature is not a mistake, but a blueprint, a reminder that survival can take forms stranger than we ever imagined. But the wonder is not only in the adaptations themselves, it is in what they reveal. These creatures are architects not just of their own survival, but of the ecosystem itself. Each glowing lure, each drifting tendril, each silent hunt reshapes the abyss, adding threads to a tapestry unseen by the surface. Their presence changes the balance of who lives and who dies. Their strategies ripple outward, creating a chain that sustains life in a place that should not allow it. Even here in silence, there is community. Predator and prey locked in eternal rhythm, colonies working. Inung as one, light pulsing as language. The abyss is not chaos, it is order written in shadows. And as we watch these architects drift and glow, a question rises like a current. What does it mean to thrive? On land, survival often feels tied to strength, speed, dominance. But here, in this cathedral of night, survival is creativity. To endure the abyss is to invent, to glow where there is no sun, to bend where others would break, to become something no one has ever seen before. In this place, evolution has carved its boldest sculptures, and still, there are deeper mysteries waiting, in shadows, where even light dares not go. The abyss does not forgive weakness, but it rewards patience. To survive here is to become more than flesh. It is to turn the impossible into the ordinary. The architects of this realm are proof that life, when pressed to its limits, discovers genius. A lanternfish drifts into the glow of our lights, its body shimmering with tiny organs that flicker like stars. It is small, barely the length of a hand, yet it is among the most important creatures in the deep. By night, it rises toward the surface, feeding on plankton in the relative safety of darkness. By day, it retreats into the black depths, carrying energy from above into the abyss. In this silent exchange, the lanternfish becomes a bridge, a courier of life between two worlds. Millions of them migrate up and down each night, the largest migration of animals on the planet, unseen by human eyes. They are architects not of single survival, but of balance, sustaining predators that wait below. Farther on, a comb jelly unfurls in graceful arcs. Its body ripples with shifting rainbows, light refracting off rows of cilia that beat in rhythm. Unlike the flashing of bioluminescence, its glow is not made but borrowed, light broken apart into colors. It looks delicate, almost fragile, yet it drifts with confidence, its rhythm steady against the current. In its movement, there is a kind of music, silent but visible, a reminder that survival can also be beauty. The gulper eel appears next, its vast mouth opening like a dark curtain. It is grotesque, alien, magnificent. Its jaw unhinges wide enough to swallow creatures half its size, a strategy born of scarcity. In the abyss, meals do not come often. To miss one could mean death. The gulper eel does not wait for the perfect prey. It takes what it can, when it can. Its body is elastic, its stomach expandable, its design a blueprint for hunger-made flesh. Nearby, the viperfish prowls. Its long, needle-like teeth protrude even when its mouth is closed, a grin carved from nightmares. Along its body, light organs shimmer faintly, luring prey closer before it strikes. Its attack is lightning fast, a flash in the dark, followed by stillness once again. It is a reminder that in this place, beauty and terror are often the same thing, separated only by the eye that beholds them. But not all architects are hunters. Some build survival from absence, from waiting. The amphipods, tiny shrimp-like creatures, swarm in the mud at the trench's floor. They are scavengers, feeding on what little falls from above, the slow rain of organic matter, fragments of fish, the ghostly remains of creatures that once swam in light. To them, nothing is wasted. Every scrap becomes a thread in the web of survival. They are architects of endurance, transforming scarcity into abundance. Together, these beings weave a paradox. The abyss, a place that should be barren, is instead alive with invention. Predators sharpen their teeth into weapons. Scavengers turn death into life. Colonies merge into singular bodies. Lanternfish carry energy between worlds. Each adaptation is not random. It is deliberate. It is art. And as we watch them, drifting in their cathedral of black water, the thought takes root. Perhaps these creatures are not just surviving the abyss. Perhaps they are shaping it. Every glow, every hunt, every silent migration reshapes the ecosystem. The abyss is not only home to life, it is built by life. Here, in the darkest part of the world, we witness proof that creation does not end with light. In fact, it may be here, in the pressure and the silence, that creation is at its most fearless. The deeper we go into the trench, the more the abyss reveals its strange architects. Creatures so unlike anything on the surface that they seem less like animals and more like ideas made flesh. The barrel-eye fish drifts into view, suspended in the water like a dream. At first it seems ordinary, a small, dark body, fins gliding in quiet rhythm. But then the light shifts, and the truth is revealed. Its head is transparent, a clear dome through which two green tubular eyes stare upward. They are not fixed in place, but can rotate within the dome, peering through the translucent skull like periscopes. This adaptation allows the barrel eye to gaze above, while its body remains hidden in shadow. It hunts by watching the silhouettes of prey against faint glimmers of light above. It is strange, unsettling, mesmerizing. A perfect design for a world where vision is scarce and survival depends on ingenuity. Nearby, the glass squid drifts with an elegance that feels ghost-like. Nearly invisible, its body is transparent, betraying nothing to predators. Only its eyes, large and luminous, break the illusion of emptiness. When threatened, the squid releases a cloud of ink that glows with bioluminescence, a luminous smoke screen in the dark. To see it is to witness strategy at its most surreal, light used not to reveal, but to vanish. The abyss is filled with such paradoxes. Creatures, res that hide by glowing. Predators that lure by deceiving. Beings that survive by appearing as though they do not exist. Evolution here bends logic into poetry. A bit further, the tripod fish rests on the seafloor. Its long, spindly fins stretch downward like stilts, propping its body above the mud. In the stillness, it waits, letting the currents bring food to it rather than chasing prey. Its eyes, small and nearly blind, are useless here. Instead, it relies on touch, on the subtle vibrations of the water. Its design is not aggressive, not fast, not fierce. It is patient, a quiet architect of stillness. And then there is the gulper shark, a slow, deep-sea wanderer whose mouth curves into a permanent, unsettling smile. It moves without urgency, conserving energy, its body built for long journeys through black emptiness. It does not shine. It does not rush. It does not perform tricks of light. Its survival lies in restraint. In a place where food is scarce, to waste nothing is the greatest invention of all. The abyss teaches us that survival is not a single path. It is many. to glow, to vanish, to wait, to drift, to expand. Each creature embodies a different answer to the same question. How do you endure in a place that does not want you to exist? And each answer reshapes the trench itself, turning an unforgiving void into a living, breathing world. The further we watch, the more it becomes clear. These creatures are not simply strange. They are essential. Without them, the abyss would collapse. The lanternfish feed the predators. The scavengers clear the dead. The glowing lures guide energy from one body to another. Even in silence, there is an invisible conversation. Life speaking to life, shaping the dark together. It is easy to think of the abyss as separate, as distant from us. But these architects remind us that the trench is not isolated. It is connected. The lanternfish that rise each night feed predators that surface in turn. Predators that eventually shape the oceans where we fish, where we sail, where we live. A trench may be hidden, but its architects reach farther than we know. And so, in this endless night, we discover a truth. The abyss is not chaos, but design. And the architects are its authors, glowing, waiting, drifting in a silence more alive than any sound. The deeper we remain, the clearer it becomes. The abyss is not defined by its emptiness, but by its creators. Every flicker of light, every delicate drift, every silent hunt is a stroke in a masterpiece millions of years in the making. The vampire squid appears, its name a misdirection. It is not a predator of blood, but a survivor of scarcity. Its cloak-like webbing stretches between its arms, glowing faintly as it unfurls in the water. Unlike hunters that chase or deceive, the vampire squid waits for what the ocean offers. It feeds on marine snow, the endless drizzle of organic matter that falls from the surface world. Dead plankton, fragments of fish, microscopic remains of lives once lived in light. In this snow, the vampire squid finds sustenance, a gentle architect of endurance. Its survival is not in violence, but in patience, in turning the forgotten into life. Nearby, a deep-sea jelly pulses slowly, its bell glowing with rings of green and blue. Each contraction seems too delicate to move it, yet the jelly drifts steadily through the void. It has no eyes, no bones, no brain, and still, it thrives where we struggle to even exist. Its very presence is proof that complexity is not the only path to survival. Sometimes, simplicity endures longer than strength. The abyss is filled with such contradictions, creatures that look fragile but are indestructible, bodies that seem monstrous but serve delicate roles in balance. Even the amphipods at the trench's floor, small, overlooked, are vital, recycling every fragment that falls into their world. They remind us that even the smallest architects shape the cathedral around them. But among all these beings, one lesson repeats itself: light in darkness. Bioluminescence is not rare here. It is common, woven into the very fabric of life. From the faint glimmer of bacteria to the dazzling displays of larger predators, the abyss glows with life's refusal to vanish into shadow. To see these lights flare in the black is to understand survival here is not quiet submission. It is defiance. Every glow declares, I am here. I endure. And as we float in this world of architects, it becomes impossible not to wonder. What else waits unseen? We know so little. The trench is vast, its depths still uncharted. Each discovery, each fragile being drawn from the dark, feels less like an end and more like a beginning. The architects we see may only be a fraction of what exists, a prelude to even stranger marvels hiding beyond the reach of light. The silence folds around us once more, heavy and endless. The architects drift back into the dark, their lights vanishing one by one, until we are left with nothing but black water pressing on every side. But the impression they leave does not fade. In their inventions, we glimpse not only survival, but creativity. Life daring to imagine itself differently. The abyss is no barren tomb. It is a gallery of architects, and in their shapes, their lights, their strange, impossible designs, we see not only how life survives in the trench, but how it thrives. And deeper still, below even these wonders, greater shadows are waiting, giants that bend the ocean around them, creatures vast enough to be mistaken for myths. The architects of the abyss give way now to something larger, the titans that dwell below. The abyss has shown us its architects, fragile, glowing, cunning in their designs. But deeper still, shadows move that are larger than imagination, beings whose very presence reshapes the dark around them. These are the titans, giants that rise and vanish in silence, leaving behind only whispers of their passing. The first glimpse is never full. It is a shape at the edge of the lights, a movement vast and slow, too immense to capture in one glance. A tentacle unfurls, pale and sinuous, stretching farther than the beam can reach. Then another. The colossal squid emerges from shadow. Not a myth, not a sailor's fevered dream, but flesh and blood alive in the trench. Its eyes, enormous, wider than a human head, glow faintly in the dark. They are the largest eyes on Earth, built to catch the faintest shimmer of light in the black. With those eyes, it watches, it waits. The squid drifts with quiet majesty, its body trailing behind like a ship's sail torn free. Hooks line its arms, brutal and efficient, a weapon designed for prey that must be captured quickly in a world where chance is rare. It is not frantic, it is not hurried. Titans do not rush. They command the water, their size alone rewriting the silence around them. And yet, for all its enormity, the squid is a shadow. Few have ever seen it alive. Fewer still have filmed its slow, deliberate movement in the deep. For centuries it lived in myth, the kraken, the sea monster, the terror of sailors. But myths often grow from fragments of truth. And here in the abyss, truth is more unsettling than fiction. Not far from this drifting giant, another titan passes. A sleeper shark, vast and ancient, gliding with the weight of centuries. Its body is scarred, its movement patient, its eyes dull yet enduring. Some of these sharks are believed to live for hundreds of years, their lives stretching across eras of human history. Silent witnesses to a world we barely understand. To see one move through the abyss is to feel the weight of time itself pressing against us. These giants are not monsters. They are not villains. They are simply scale. Life drawn in larger strokes. Life shaped to dominate a world that demands endurance. Their presence humbles. For all our ships and machines, all our maps and satellites, we are small here. The Titans remind us of that smallness. But they also remind us of mystery. For even now we do not know how many dwell below. The ocean hides them well. Our lights reach only a fraction of the space. Our cameras catch only fleeting glimpses. What else stirs in this black cathedral, unseen, unmeasured? Are there titans, larger still, waiting where no human has yet dared to descend? In the silence, the water trembles faintly, not with sound, but with movement. Something vast passes beyond sight, its outlines swallowed in the dark. Perhaps another squid, perhaps something greater. The trench offers no answers, only questions, only shadows. And so, the Titans remain legends, even when we face them. Legends not because they are imagined, but because their scale outpaces our ability to understand. They are real, and still, they are myth. The Titans of the abyss are not always swift hunters. Some are patient, drifting with the gravity of mountains, conserving every ounce of energy in a place where excess is punished. Among them drifts the giant amphipod, a creature that, on the surface, is no larger than a fingernail. But here, in the trench, Its body stretches to the size of a human hand, swollen by pressure, adapted to endure where others cannot. Even the smallest forms become giants in this world, exaggerated echoes of themselves. But true leviathans move deeper. Consider the oarfish, a ribbon of silver and red, so long it seems to have no end. Some grow to over 30 feet, bodies shimmering like liquid metal, crowned with a mane of crimson fin. Rarely seen alive, they rise from the depths only when sick or dying, washing ashore like messengers from another world. For centuries, their appearance was taken as a bad omen, a warning of storms or earthquakes. And perhaps in a way that fear was justified. To see such a being is to confront the scale of the abyss, a reminder of what waits unseen. Further on, the lights catch a fleeting giant, the blunt silhouette of a deep-sea shark. It moves with the slow certainty of something that knows time belongs to it. Its teeth are jagged, its eyes unblinking, but its body carries scars of age. Down here, predators endure for decades, even centuries. Some Greenland sharks, close kin to these shadows, have been known to live for over 400 years. Imagine it. A creature born before electricity, still alive in the waters today, gliding in silence through the black. The Titans are not bound by time as we are. Their lives stretch across centuries, their silence deeper than memory. To witness one is to brush against history itself. Yet there is one giant that eclipses all, the sperm whale. It does not dwell permanently in the trench, but it visits, diving into its black corridors in pursuit of prey. When it descends, it carries with it the breath of the surface world, lungs filled with air, heart beating with thunder. Its body, vast and muscular, pushes downward into the abyss with a rhythm that feels unstoppable. At depths of over 2,000 meters, it hunts colossal squid, battles fought in silence, leaving scars that map across its skin. Each mark is a story written in flesh, proof that giants collide in the dark. To imagine that moment, a whale the size of a bus meeting a squid with eyes larger than lanterns, is to glimpse myth given form. No human has truly seen such battles unfold. We only know them from scars, from fragments found in stomachs, from fleeting glimpses. The ocean guards its secrets well. But the truth is undeniable. The abyss is a stage where titans clash, unseen, unheard, while the world above remains oblivious. And still, for every giant we name, there are others we cannot. Vast shadows that slip away before our lights can catch them. Movements that stir the water, leaving only questions in their wake. Some are known only by fragments. A tentacle washed ashore, a beak discovered in the belly of a whale, a shape caught briefly on sonar. Others remain nothing more than rumor, whispers carried by sailors who claim to see the sea itself rise. Perhaps the trench is home to titans still unknown, beings larger than anything we have dared to imagine. Perhaps the Kraken is not a myth after all, but a story born from fleeting truths. The abyss does not give its secrets freely. And so, the titans remain half seen, half believed, hovering at the edge of mystery. The trench is not silent. It breathes, it groans, it trembles with the passage of titans, vibrations too deep for human ears to catch, yet strong enough to ripple through the bones of the earth itself. Hydrophones lowered into these depths have recorded low-frequency calls, voices of whales, echoes of giants, resonating across hundreds of miles. Some sounds, however, remain unclaimed. Strange rumbles, untraceable pulses, unexplained crashes from below. They remind us that not every titan is known, not every voice has a name. The abyss does not show its rulers openly. It gives only fragments. A glimpse of skin pale as moonlight, a shadow that stretches beyond the arc of the lights, a movement in the corner of vision, gone before certainty can form. And yet, in those fragments, our imagination builds monsters larger than truth, larger perhaps than reality itself. The titans below do not need to be seen to command fear. They live best in the unseen. But the trench also humbles our imagination with what we do know. Amphipods the size of fists, jellyfish stretching longer than whales, siphonophores, vast colonies of tiny organisms linked together, creating living chains over 100 feet long. These colonies drift like spectral ribbons, glowing in a cascade of light, bending in slow waves, as if the ocean itself had learned to weave. They are titans, not in mass, but in presence, spanning distances that dwarf us. In their movement, we see beauty drawn across emptiness. And then there is the giant squid, cousin to the colossal, its body stretching longer than a city bus, its tentacles lined with suckers that leave scars in spirals. For centuries, it was thought a myth. Today, we know it is real. But knowing does not lessen the awe. Its sheer scale, the intelligence in its movement, the power in its arms, all confirm that the abyss is no passive void. It is alive, and its titans are many. When we descend into these waters, we are reminded of our place. For all our machines and all our measurements, we remain intruders here. We arrive with lights and cameras, and the titans slip away, unbothered by our presence, as if to say, this world does not belong to you. And in truth, it does not. We are visitors to a cathedral older than humanity itself, a cathedral whose walls are built of silence and whose guardians are giants. Some are patient drifters, some are hunters, some are shadows yet unnamed. All remind us that mystery is not an absence of knowledge, but the presence of something too vast to grasp in full. The trench swallows our lights again. Whatever moved beyond the beams is gone now, leaving only black water pressing on every side. The titans retreat into the silence that birthed them, and we are left with the question that has always followed the abyss. What else stirs below? The answer waits in the dark. Always in the dark. The trench has shown us silhouettes, fragments, glimmers of vastness. Yet its greatest lesson is not in what we see, but in what remains unseen. The titans below are not merely creatures, they are boundaries. They are the line between the known and the unknowable, between the light of understanding and the shadows of wonder. As we hover deeper into the black, the water thickens with mystery. Our lights push forward, but every beam fades into endless night, swallowed within meters. Beyond that reach, anything could drift. Anything could wait. It is in this space, the gulf between sight and possibility, that the titans thrive. The abyssal plains stretch beneath us, bare to the eye yet rich in life too small to see. Somewhere within this silence, sperm whales dive again, plunging deeper than any other mammal, lungs collapsing under pressure, hearts slowing like ancient drums. Somewhere further still, colossal squid extend their arms, hooks gleaming in faint bioluminescence, waiting for the whales to come. Battles are fought here that shape no headlines, that leave no witnesses but scars. Wars of giants in the dark, unknown to all but the trench itself. And yet, for every titan we have encountered, the greatest may still lie beyond our reach. Legends persist of creatures larger than ships, wider than valleys, moving in silence beneath the waves. Science has found no proof. But science has also barely touched these depths. Less than 1% of the trench has been seen by human eyes. 99% remains a darkness unbroken. In that void, legends breathe freely. It is this uncertainty that gives the trench its power. The titans are real. Colossal squid, oarfish, sharks that live for centuries. But perhaps, hidden deeper, there are others. beings we have no name for, shapes that have never felt the touch of light. Life forms so vast, so alien, they would redefine than what we believe the ocean can hold. The thought lingers, as heavy as the water pressing down. If such giants exist, they are waiting still. The silence presses harder now. It is not absence, but presence, a silence filled with watchers. The trench does not reveal its rulers all at once. It lets us wonder. It lets us fear. It lets us hope that somewhere in the dark, the legends are true. And so we ascend slowly, leaving the giants behind, their shadows fading into memory. But their presence remains with us, etched into the silence, carved into the imagination. The titans below do not end when we leave them. They live on in myth, in story, in the endless hunger to return and see more. The trench keeps its secrets, and with them, it keeps its titans. The trench is not silent, though it wears silence like a mask. Beneath the crushing black, a symphony plays, low, rumbling, eternal. The sounds of the abyss are not like those of the surface. Here, voices stretch and bend, carried across hundreds of miles in waters dense with pressure. They are not heard as much as they are felt, reverberating through steel, through bone, through memory itself. A hydrophone lowered into this darkness captures the first echoes. At once the deep rolls with the song of whales, leviathans speaking in tones that rumble below the edge of human hearing. Their calls are not solitary cries, but dialogues, exchanged across miles of endless night. Some are patterned, repeating like chants. Others stretch long and mournful, as though the ocean itself was singing through them. These songs map the abyss, turning emptiness into a place filled with presence. But not all echoes have names. Strange pulses ripple through the water, unexplained, unclaimed. Scientists have catalogued many of them. The bloop, the Julia, the upsweep. Each sound recorded, analyzed, and debated. Ice-breaking, perhaps, tectonic shifts, or something else, something alive. The explanations comfort, but they do not silence the questions. The abyss is vast, and every unexplained sound feels like a message still waiting for a sender. In the darkness, the echoes thrum like heartbeats. Some are sharp, like the crack of stone under pressure. Others are low and rolling, like thunder trapped underwater. Each sound is magnified by the trench, bouncing along its walls, resonating endlessly. The ocean becomes a great instrument, played by forces far older than humanity. And yet, beneath the strangeness, there is pattern. The calls of sperm whales descending into blackness, the clicks and pulses of dolphins tracing unseen maps, even the faint hum of shifting currents, pushing along rivers of salt and cold. All of it weaves into a hidden music, the soundtrack of a world we cannot see. But what lingers most are the sounds we cannot explain, recordings that defy easy answers, whose origins vanish in speculation. They remind us that the trench is not simply a place of life or death, but of memory. Every echo, every vibration is a trace left in the water, proof that something moved, something breathed, something passed through this cathedral of silence. And so, as we drift deeper into the soundscape, a thought rises unshakable. The abyss remembers. The deeper we travel, the more the trench speaks in ways beyond sight. Every rock, every slope, every trench wall vibrates with stories of the earth. Tectonic plates grind silently, shifting in rhythms measured in millennia. Hydrothermal vents hiss and crackle, belching heat into water colder than ice, carrying minerals that feed life invisible to the surface. The echoes here are not accidental. They are signatures of a world alive in its own language, a world whose voice we are only beginning to decipher. Among these echoes drift the bioluminescent creatures, their flashes punctuating the darkness like punctuation in an unreadable manuscript. Lanternfish rise in synchronized waves, their tiny lights pulsing across the abyss in patterns almost too precise to be instinct alone. Some scientists call it deep scattering, a term meant to measure, categorize, explain. But watching it is to see choreography that feels intentional, almost sacred. Each flicker is a note in the symphony of survival, a code written in light and shadow, passed along unseen currents. And yet, there are darker voices here too. Deep-sea squid release bursts of ink that trail for meters, and as the ink spreads, it creates fleeting silhouettes that pulse in the lights of exploration vessels. Some pulses are natural, others are faint, rapid, structured. They suggest communication, strategy, perhaps even thought. We cannot know for certain. The abyss guards its secrets. In the echo of the trench, there is also history. Shipwrecks lie crushed and decayed on the floor, their timbers whispering under the weight of water and centuries. Organic matter drifts down from the world above, slowly feeding entire ecosystems, carrying stories of life that once existed in light. Every fragment, every sound, every ripple is part of a chain reaction we can barely trace, an ancient rhythm linking the surface to the unfathomable depths. Pressure shapes not just bodies, but behavior. Predators move with calculated restraint, conserving energy for the next strike. Prey evolves flashes of deceptive light, spikes, camouflage, all responses to the silent music around them. In this world, every echo is survival, every vibration a guide. It is easy to imagine the abyss as dead, lifeless, unknowable. And yet, listening closely, it is a world humming with life. A concert we have only just begun to hear. Occasionally, the water shivers with something massive, too vast for the eye alone to catch. Shadows pass in the peripheral, leaving pulses that register as vibrations through instruments. Are these titans moving below? Colossal squid? Unknown leviathans? Or perhaps something stranger still? A being whose memory predates our understanding of life itself? The questions hang in the water like mist, impossible to resolve, yet impossible to ignore. And in this suspended space, the echoes do more than inform. They provoke reflection. They remind us of scale, of fragility, of the thin thread of knowledge we cling to. For every sound we capture, there are 1,000 more we cannot. For every creature glimpsed, countless others remain invisible. In the echoes of the trench, we confront our smallness, our curiosity, and the persistent allure of the unknown. The trench's echoes do more than fill space. They map it. Sound travels farther here than anywhere else on Earth, bending and stretching along walls, across canyons, around ridges we cannot see. Each vibration, each pulse, each muffled roar carries information. Some are calls, from whales, from squid, from creatures still unnamed. Some are warnings, tremors sent through water that vibrate through the bodies of nearby life. And some are mysteries, sounds so alien, so immense, they resist classification, slipping through scientific nets like ghosts. The deep-sea anglerfish emits faint glows that flicker in time with the pulsing currents. Its lights are not just visual, they are part of the sonic tapestry, interacting subtly with vibrations in the water. Tiny sounds, movements of its body, the gentle brushing of fins, all are notes in the symphony of survival. In this way, even the smallest architects contribute to the soundscape of the abyss. Life here, no matter how minute, resonates. Some echoes originate from the trench itself. Hydrothermal vents hiss like whispering gods, exhaling heat and minerals into frigid darkness. Rocks creak as the plates below grind together, producing low, rolling groans that can travel for hundreds of miles. In these sounds, there is memory of geological upheaval, of volcanic births, of eons pressing down silently. The abyss is a living archive, its echoes carrying the weight of time itself. And yet, within these deep vibrations, there is also storytelling. Each pulse is a chapter, each click a paragraph, each groan a sentence in the living narrative of the trench. The titans below, colossal squid, oarfish, sperm whales, add their voices, low and immense, stretching over miles, asserting presence without aggression. Their sounds are not noise. They are declarations, reminders that the abyss is not empty, that the giants rule in silence as much as in flesh. The human-made echoes also enter this world. Submersibles hum, cameras click, instruments beep. For a moment we leave traces in the concert, weaving ourselves briefly into the fabric of the abyss. But the ocean absorbs us quickly. Our notes are minor, fleeting, nothing compared to the symphony that has played here for millions of years. And then we are again outsiders, listening, unable to fully participate, witnesses to a music that predates us. It is in these echoes that the trench teaches its harshest lesson. To understand the abyss is to accept uncertainty. Every sound is a guide, yes, but also a challenge. Every pulse is information, yes, but incomplete. The ocean preserves more than it reveals. It whispers, it hums, it sings, and then it vanishes, leaving only wonder and a sense of scale that is impossible to measure. And in this dark, vibrating cathedral, one thought becomes clear. The echoes are alive, not merely as sounds, but as forces shaping life, guiding movement, teaching the creatures here how to survive, how to hunt, how to thrive. Every flicker of light, every motion, every vibration contributes to a world we can only partially grasp, yet whose presence we feel in every fiber of our being. The abyss is vast. Its echoes are endless. And in listening, we glimpse both its secrets and its soul, a resonance older than humanity, deeper than memory, more alive than silence itself. The echoes of the abyss linger long after the source has passed. Even when the whales dive, even when the squid drifts away, even when tectonic plates settle for a moment, vibrations remain, bouncing along walls, through ridges, across canyons unseen. These aftershocks are not weak. They carry memory, the weight of time and movement, whispering of events that occurred centuries or millennia ago. To listen is to feel history itself pressing against you. Some echoes are brief and sharp, the snap of a crustacean claw, the crack of a rock shifting under pressure. Others stretch for minutes, waves of sound rolling like distant thunder. Some pulse in patterns too precise to be random, a signal in the noise, a language of survival we have not yet learned to read. It is possible that the titans themselves, the colossal squid, the oarfish, the whales, communicate not only in sight, but in vibrations, in pulses we cannot fully perceive. Their presence is felt before it is seen, and beneath all of it lies the hum of the earth itself. Tectonic shifts grinding, underwater landslides, hydrothermal vents exhaling their mineral-laden breath. These are echoes without life, yet they shape it. Currents bend around them, food is dispersed, creatures navigate according to these rhythms. Even absence becomes form, silence. It too carries meaning. In the trench, the spaces between sounds are as alive as the pulses themselves. The human ear cannot fully grasp these vibrations. Instruments stretch the perception, but even they fall short. To descend here is to confront scale, not just the size of creatures, but the immensity of time, pressure, and distance. Every echo, every pulse, every vibration is a reminder. The abyss is not ours to command. It is ours only to witness. And witnessing is humbling. Yet for all its mystery, the trench offers something profoundly beautiful. The interplay of light and sound, of predator and prey, of living creatures and geological memory, creates a living symphony. Lanternfish rise in waves, their glowing bodies shimmering in harmony with pulsing currents. Jellyfish drift like glowing notes, punctuating the cadence of water. Squid extend their arms in slow arcs, interacting subtly with vibrations around them. Even the tiniest amphipods contribute, their movements sending ripples that echo across meters of silence. The abyss is alive in ways we are only beginning to perceive. And then, there is the awareness that these echoes do not belong solely to the living. They belong to the abyss itself. It is a voice older than any human understanding, a voice shaped by pressure, darkness, and survival. When we listen, we are not hearing life alone. We are hearing the trench, the earth, the deep ocean, speaking through its inhabitants. As our submersible ascends, leaving the abyss behind, the echoes remain. They ripple long after we have gone, carrying traces of titans and architects alike, whispers of centuries, the subtle pulse of a world both fragile and indomitable. The sounds fade from our instruments, but the memory of them lingers in the mind, a reminder that even in darkness, life, scale, and history are intertwined in ways beyond comprehension. And in that lingering resonance, one truth crystallizes. The abyss is more than a place. It is a symphony, a library, a cathedral. Its echoes are the language of survival, of scale, of time itself. And those who listen carefully, who descend into the dark, who witness the pulse of this hidden world, find themselves forever changed, carrying with them the sound of a place where life thrives against all odds, where silence itself speaks, and where the mysteries of the ocean continue to call deeper and deeper into the unseen. In the abyss, light is a treasure. Rare, precious, and fleeting, it comes not from the sun, but from the creatures themselves. Bioluminescence is their language, their art, their survival. And in these eternal midnight waters, it becomes the signature of giants, being so vast and luminous, they transform the black into a living constellation. At first, we notice small flashes, like distant stars drifting in the water. Lanternfish, comb jellies, anglerfish, all tiny architects of glow, weaving a tapestry of survival in pulsing points of light. Yet deeper still, larger forms appear, their bodies glowing faintly along outlines that stretch beyond the reach of human perception. These are not predators or scavengers alone. They are titans of illumination, giants hidden in plain darkness. A colossal squid drifts into view, its tentacles outlined in soft, ghostly light. Each arm glows with tiny photophores, signaling, attracting, deceiving. Its eyes, enormous, emerald, unblinking, reflect the faint bioluminescence, creating the illusion of multiple watchers in the dark. Every movement is deliberate, a choreography perfected over millions of years. For creatures like this, light is both shield and weapon, a guide through the crushing black. Nearby, a siphonophore pulses with rhythm. Its long colonial body stretches for dozens of meters, hundreds of tiny organisms acting as one. Each polyp emits a faint glow, synchronized in a flowing wave along its length. As it drifts, the trench transforms around it, a river of light winding through shadow. It is mesmerizing, almost sacred, as if the abyss itself were breathing through these giants. The Titan's glows serve many purposes. Some lure prey closer with hypnotic pulses. Some warn others of danger. Some attract mates in a world where darkness makes visibility nearly impossible. Each flash, each flicker, each ripple is intentional. Here, survival has become art, and the giants are the artists. But their light is fragile. A misstep, a flicker too bright, and predators can strike. The abyss is a stage of tension, a world where even illumination carries risk. The colossal squid must balance its glow with stealth. The The siphonophores' ribbons of light must drift carefully through the water, or its delicate body will be torn apart by unseen currents or curious hunters. Bioluminescence is not indulgence here. It is a calculated statement, a negotiation with the darkness. And yet, despite danger, the glow persists. Some of the largest creatures in the trench emit it. Deep-sea jellyfish with bells stretching meters pulsate softly, casting shadows that dwarf submersibles. Oarfish, rarely seen, ripple their crimson fins in faint light, weaving through the abyss like living ribbons of fire. Even some deep-sea sharks, slow and deliberate, have light organs along their bodies, guiding them silently as they hunt in eternal night. The interplay of these glowing giants creates a spectacle almost impossible to describe. Light emerges in pulses, arcs, ribbons, cascading flows that seem choreographed by the trench itself. Shadows bend and sway, flickers of color travel across the water, and suddenly the abyss is not silent, not still, not empty. It is alive, it is luminous, it is a cathedral where the giants themselves are the stained glass, the pillars, and the pulsing heartbeat all at once. To witness these hidden bioluminescent giants is to confront a world unlike any above. Here, life has learned to make its own illumination, to carve a path through pressure and darkness, to exist in forms so alien they challenge our imagination. And yet, for all their strangeness, these giants are vital. They sustain the ecosystem, guide predators and prey, connect unseen currents of energy and matter in a network as vast as the trench itself. Even from a distance, the effect is profound. The black water becomes a tapestry of living light, shadows that pulse and drift, revealing shapes both enormous and delicate. The abyss is no longer merely a void. It is a universe suspended beneath the surface, a world where giants glow, mysteries thrive, and darkness is transformed into wonder. As we drift deeper, the giant's glow becomes more pronounced, weaving a complex network of illumination that both hides and reveals. The abyss is no longer uniform darkness. It is a living mosaic of light and shadow. Each flicker tells a story, each pulse communicates survival, and each ribbon of glow hints at forms larger than we can fully comprehend. A giant jellyfish glides by, its bell nearly 3 meters wide, pulsating with soft green and blue lights. Tiny tendrils trail behind, flickering faintly like sparks in slow motion. Its rhythm is hypnotic, almost meditative, a silent statement of existence. For these creatures, motion and light are inseparable. Each breath, each pulse, each drift is a calculated survival tactic and a visual symphony. The water around it shivers slightly, caught in the subtle currents it creates, bending the light of smaller organisms into fleeting patterns that seem intentional, almost artistic. Nearby, an oarfish arcs gracefully, crimson fins glowing faintly. Its body stretches longer than a city bus, a serpentine shadow in an ocean without end. The faint bioluminescence along its scales glints intermittently as it moves, illuminating the silhouettes of smaller creatures in its path. In this perpetual darkness, even minimal light transforms perception. The abyss seems smaller, more intimate, yet at the same time, it becomes clear how vast these giants truly are. Their presence dominates, and yet they move with an elegance that belies their enormous size. Even deep-sea sharks, slow-moving and deliberate, contribute to this luminous landscape. Photophores along their bodies emit subtle glows, marking their positions in ways almost invisible to the human eye. For the creatures around them, this glow is a signal, a warning, a marker in a dark world where survival depends on recognizing both friend and foe. Every flash of light, every shimmer in the abyss, is part of a vast dialogue, a communication network shaped over millions of years. And then there are the siphonophores, colonies of tiny organisms bound into single drifting entities that stretch for dozens of meters. Each polyp pulses faintly in coordinated waves, creating the impression of flowing rivers of light. They drift with eerie grace, moving as one yet composed of countless individual organisms. For the submersible, watching them is almost hypnotic, like staring at a constellation that has become liquid, alive, and conscious. They are giants in their own way, not by mass, but by presence, by scale of impact on the ecosystem around them. The deeper we go, the more interconnected this luminous network becomes. Predator and prey, hunter and guide, individual and colony, each contributes to the glow. The abyss is not simply a void, it is a dynamic stage, constantly evolving, where light itself is as essential as oxygen, as crucial as food. The giants are the anchors of this world, shaping currents, guiding migrations, and maintaining balance in a realm where even the smallest misstep can mean death. Yet the most striking realization is this: in a world without sunlight, life has found a way to create its own universe. These bioluminescent giants do not merely survive, they thrive, transforming darkness into a spectacle that is at once alien and mesmerizing. They teach us that beauty in the abyss is not accidental. It is deliberate, evolved over eons, a luminous testament to the ingenuity of life under pressure. In their presence, the human mind struggles to comprehend scale, time, and purpose. Every flicker is a signal, every glow a revelation, every movement a story of adaptation and endurance. The giants of the trench are not mythical. They are living proof that life persists even in the harshest, most inhospitable places on Earth. And they do so in a way that is simultaneously terrifying and breathtaking, commanding awe in a way that few surface encounters can match. Deeper still, the giant's light transforms from mere survival into spectacle. Entire stretches of the trench glow with life unseen by surface eyes. Ribbons of siphonophores drift like luminescent rivers, their pulses synchronized as if choreographed by the ocean itself. Jellyfish stretch out like floating chandeliers, their bells emitting soft, undulating light that casts shadows across the abyssal plains. Even the smallest lanternfish contribute, their tiny flashes echoing across the water, joining the chorus of illumination that gives shape to this black world. Among these living lights, colossal squid move with intent, their tentacles trailing streams of faint bioluminescence. They are hunters, yes, but also dancers in the abyssal ballet, weaving through glowing currents as they seek prey. Their eyes, enormous and reflective, capture even the faintest glimmer of movement, turning the trench into a stage where predator and prey play out timeless strategies. Each flicker is deliberate, each pulse. E of light, a calculation born of necessity. The giant's bioluminescence also serves as communication. Deep-sea sharks glide past, photophores along their sides emitting soft flashes that may signal location, mood, or warning. The exact language is unknown, but its function is clear. In darkness, light becomes conversation, and the trench is full of it. Light pulses between hunters and guides, between titans and architects, creating an invisible network of signals that guide life in a world where the sun never penetrates. Some of the largest displays belong to deep-sea jellyfish, whose bells stretch meters wide, casting arcs of glow into the water. As they pulse, smaller organisms drift in and out of the radiance, their bodies momentarily illuminated before slipping back into shadow. The effect is mesmerizing, almost hypnotic, an ecosystem built not only on survival, but on spectacle. The giants transform darkness into theater, each movement a performance, each flicker a narrative in the unseen drama of the deep. The trench's bioluminescent giants are also engineers of perception. Lanternfish migrations, synchronized to create massive waves of light, help obscure movement from predators above. Siphonophores' ribbons of glow create illusions, confusing prey or signaling allies. Even the colossal squid uses its faint luminescence to mask its size, blending its form into the surrounding darkness. Every glow is functional, yet it achieves something more: beauty born from necessity. Watching this luminous world unfold, it becomes clear that light in the abyss is more than survival. It is identity. Each pulse, each flicker, each arc of glow marks a presence, a declaration that life endures here despite crushing pressure, frigid temperatures, and complete absence of sunlight. The giants are the carriers of this identity, their vast forms and glowing patterns defining the abyss. S is in ways both practical and poetic.
And yet, for all their visibility, these giants remain hidden in essence. Their glow illuminates only portions of their bodies. The rest remains concealed in shadow. Submersibles can capture glimpses, cameras can record snippets, but the full scale of these creatures is almost impossible to witness in one view. The trench keeps its secrets, allowing light only in measured doses, offering revelation without complete comprehension. In that concealment lies their power. The giants of the abyss are both revealed and mysterious, known and unknowable. Their bioluminescence is a beacon, a lure, a guide. But it also reminds us of what we cannot see, of the immensity still hidden beyond our lights. In every pulse, every flicker, every glowing ripple, the trench asserts its duality, a world of both revelation and endless mystery, where survival has become artistry, and giants illuminate the darkness not just for themselves, but for every creature that relies on their light. And then, deeper still, the trench reveals its ultimate truth. These giants are not solitary wonders. They are part of a living network, a luminous web connecting species, depths, and currents. Lanternfish pulse together, creating rivers of light that stretch for miles. Colossal squid weave through them, their tentacles tracing arcs of glow. Siphonophores float like drifting tapestries, ribbons of bioluminescence stretching endlessly through the dark. Even the slow, deliberate movements of deep-sea sharks contribute to the ballet, their faint flashes blending with other lights to create a universe that seems impossibly alive. Every flash, every pulse, every shimmer is a testament to life thriving where light cannot reach. It is both survival and art, strategy and spectacle. The trench is no longer simply a place to endure. It is a canvas upon which giants, architects, and tiny architects alike have painted in glow. The abyss is alive with design, movement, and rhythm, each creature contributing to a symphony that stretches beyond human comprehension. And yet, for all their grandeur, these giants remain hidden. Submersibles can glimpse only fragments. Cameras can capture fleeting moments. The majority of this luminous spectacle is invisible to human eyes, existing in a world untouched by sunlight, where life moves with slow, deliberate perfection. The abyss grants only glimpses, teasing the imagination, hinting at the scale and complexity we may never fully know. But what is revealed is enough to awe, to humble. To witness these hidden bioluminescent giants is to confront a world in which life refuses to yield to darkness. In their presence, the abyss ceases to be merely empty space. It becomes cathedral, stage, symphony, and gallery all at once. Light dances, shadows stretch, and the giants move with a majesty that leaves observers breathless, aware of both the beauty and the fragility of life in extreme isolation. And perhaps that is the most profound lesson. In a place where pressure could crush bones, where temperatures chill beyond comprehension, where sunlight never penetrates, life not only survives, it thrives. It creates. It communicates. It illuminates. It transforms darkness into a living, breathing tapestry of survival and wonder. The giants are proof that even in the coldest, blackest depths, life insists on existing in full expression, vivid and radiant against all odds. As we ascend, leaving these hidden luminaries behind, the glow remains in memory, lingering like after-images on the mind's eye. The abyss may reclaim its darkness once more, but the impression of these giants, their light, their scale, their artistry, endures. They are alive, resilient, and unknowable,
a reminder that the deepest waters still hold secrets beyond imagination. The trench is a world of eternal night, yet within that night, the giants shine, defiant, radiant, eternal. And so, the Mariana Trench, this hidden abyss, continues its silent performance. Titans and architects, small and vast, predator and prey, light and shadow, all exist in a delicate balance, a luminous testament to life's relentless creativity. In these eternal midnight waters, the giants glide, shimmer, and endure, proving that even in darkness, there is brilliance, there is design, there is life.